Okay, Warriors beat the Rockets. No Jimmy in this one. And the first question you had going into this, or at least that I had going into this, was where's the scoring besides Steph going to come from? And we'll talk about that. But just first off with Steph, man, I mean, he is seeing everything. Whether it's Amen all over him, whether it's Dylan Brooks or Fred or Tari or whoever ends up on him, just holding him, switching on him, having two guys to the ball, having multiple bodies collapse on him whenever he drives. I mean, seeing him get that single coverage three over Jalen Green late there, it was like he finally got daylight for a clean one, but he is just so damn good at finding a way to get open. And sure, you can apply X's and O's to it, but I just want to say how cool it is to watch. As far as X's and O's stuff, I will say that a lot of GP2's buckets were off of the Rockets putting two to Steph, or just being terrified of Steph, really. I mean, he got wide open on a backdoor cut when Steph screened for him, because two guys went to Steph. He was open for two different layups off of screening for Steph, because same thing, two guys went to Steph on the ball. Buddy got an open three off of Steph screening for Draymond. I mean, whether Jimmy is playing or not, Steph's gravity is always going to be a thing, and teams are just going to freak out when he's involved in anything. And the question was just, could you get enough from other guys tonight? You got it with the GP2 cuts, you got it with Buddy threes. And again, that was the first question for me. And then after that, it became the Rockets' execution, really, where, I mean, later in the game, it was really interesting with Amen because he had Quentin Post on him, and the Rockets, they were trying to take advantage of that, just Amen driving at him, and whether it's going for a floater or whatever. And it felt like for the most part, the Rockets were not able to take advantage of that enough. And not just Amen trying to score on post, but just anybody trying to go at post there for a little bit. And you got to give Quentin Post some credit. I mean, usually you'd think it would be the shooting that would keep him on the floor, but he was holding up, man, on the boards. Unless I'm wrong and just don't know what I was looking at, which I guess is possible. You know, Moody sticking with Fred around a screen, and Post is dropping back, but also it's Steven Adams who's at the three-point line, and Adams just is not a threat to score like that, so Post doesn't have to worry about him too much. Obviously, you have to worry about Adams on the offensive glass, but when he's at the three-point line, you don't have to panic. And yeah, again, to go back to Amen, I mean, there was one nice floater there, but there were missed floaters. There was them just loading up inside on him, Draymond blocking him, or just contesting him well. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, it felt like for a few minutes there, it was the Amen versus Quentin Post matchup thing. And then after that, whether it's doubles on Şengün, doubles on Jalen Green, mixed results there for the Rockets, but it just didn't feel like there was one thing the Rockets could really just hang their hat on offensively in this game, one specific matchup to go at, which I don't think is too shocking because we know the status of this team's half-court offense on top of, like, even with Jimmy gone, the Warriors can still play defense, of course. Draymond is still out there. You saw it on that block he had on Şengün right at the end there. And then to go back to Jalen Green, 9 points. This is the Jalen Green roller coaster, man. I have no idea what he's going to do in the next game. 7-38-9. I mean, what you would like to believe is that in a close fourth quarter like that, Şengün would be the guy taking you home, either through you're finding mismatches for him in the post, or he's drawing two and then kickouts. And Şengün did have some nice mid-rangers, and Jabari made some threes, and Dylan Brooks shot well from three, but this was the type of game where the fears for the Rockets come out. I mean, it's similar to what I said at the end of game one, right? One side had Steph and Jimmy during this slugfest, and the other side didn't, so they relied more on offensive rebounding and whatever. And similar thing here. Steph is in single coverage. He's going one-on-one on, I think it was Jabari, for like this behind-the-back fading two, where again, the three over Jalen Green. You're putting two to the ball, now it's GP2 or Buddy Hield getting shots. And the Rockets, it is just not a guarantee that they will have one guy have that type of an impact game to game. Like Jalen Green drops 38 last game, great. Next game, it wouldn't shock you if Şengün had like 27 and 12 and, I don't know, 13 assists or something, right? Like, you can have that one big game, but the other side has Steph Curry. And also with Amen, I mean, for all the great things you could say about him this season and how him entering the starting five really did change the dynamics of this team in transition and being as a cutter, screen setter, threat on the offensive glass, everything, I also think this is the type of game where you see the improvements he's got to make. Like, I remember one mid-range jumper when Draymond was on him. He just said, go ahead, man. And he was able to get to the free throw line pretty easily, and then he just misses. Like, if Amen can get to, I don't know, 45% on that type of shot, that's nice. But you got to do it. But also, he's in year two. Like, it's okay to have things that get exposed in the playoffs. That's normal. And also, would it shock anybody if in the next game Amen just overwhelms the Warriors with everything he does athletically? No. And then you got Fred, where, yeah, we all know what he does for this offense, sets the table for everybody, all that, even if he only had 3 assists tonight. But I think Fred is now 11 for 41 from the field in this series. He actually had 4 shots in the paint in this one. And I believe in game 1 he had 2, and then in game 2 he had 1. So take that for whatever you will. But yeah, again, like we all knew the deal with Fred, right? Like they needed him for his offense, they need his playmaking and all that. They need him in the Şengün two-man game, but also sometimes the shots don't go in. And also he basically doesn't get to the basket. So what's going to happen in the next one for the Rockets? I don't know. That's the beauty of this team, or the frustration, depending on which way you want to look at it. I don't know what the Rockets are going to look like next game as far as shot making, playmaking, all that. I know that Steph's going to be Steph, and Draymond's going to be Draymond on defense, and the Rockets are going to keep daring him to make every jump shot, and similar thing with GP2 and all these guys. But yeah, we'll see if Jimmy plays in the next one.